Okay, I welcome you all for enrolling this course. And this course is meant for beginners. And if you have no programming background, I will help you develop that background. So if you are learning Python for the first time, or if you are learning programming for the first time, um, I will make sure that you understand the basics of programming. So if you have any question, you can freely ask questions because otherwise there are a lot of good videos available on YouTube. Obviously, you can learn from those videos. So it's very important if you ask questions, and if there is any confusion in your mind, you should try to uh, convert into a question, because sometimes other students also have the same question. So uh, for learning programming, uh, you need persistence. It does not require brilliance. So if you practice every day, maybe 2 hours, 3 hours for 1 month, you can become a very good programmer. So all it needs is practice. And I have already shared the course outline with you. The course outline includes reading material, it includes videos. So it includes combination of videos and reading material. So it's very important to like go through that material. So I totally understand it's not possible to read everything or watch everything, but still I will encourage you to read as much as possible. And I have included real Python blogs. They are really good, but and very comprehensive. So it's possible that when you read those blogs for the first time, you may not able to understand everything. It's totally understandable. Maybe you have to read again, maybe you have to consult other resources or watch videos. That's understandable. Yeah. So uh, yeah, and we will be using the same Zoom link for our next meeting. So, and the meeting time is the same. It's 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and our lectures will be 1 hour and 30 minutes. So I will try to cover as much as possible in these lectures. So what we are going to cover in the first two lectures, so that's something important. So obviously we will start with the basic data types, integers, floating point, numbers, string, Boolean types. So, I mean, if you are starting any programming language, this you have to understand. Then we will dig more into operators. What are operators? We use different type of operators in programming. Arithmetic operators, comparison operators, logical operators, identity operators, and assignment operators. I will explain what are the uses of these operators and when do we use which operator. So that's very important, because I understand that most of you may not have a programming background, and most of you may not have heard about these things. So it's very important to understand these things. So next we will study let me what happened. So where is my eraser? I not do it. Okay. Okay, this is okay. Okay, so next we will study what is the conception of variable in Python programming. So variable is a reference that points to a memory address, and we will explore it in detail. What are the like some rules to have to name the variable. So like variables cannot start with digits, variables should not have space between yeah, they should not be spaces. So yeah, and obviously it's not a lecture on object-oriented programming, but still Python is a highly object-oriented programming language. So OOP dominates in Python. So you have some understanding of method versus attribute to call the code. So yeah, obviously I'm not going to give you in detail what these means, but obviously for just for the sake of running the code, you should understand like method is a function defined for the object of particular class. And object is composed of methods as well as attributes. So I will don't, even if you are not understanding these things, it's okay. We are just starting. Maybe I will repeat these things many times. Maybe you will ask questions and everything will be cleared. So and then we will study the Python's basic data structure. So these are called data containers, or data collections. And then we will explore the concept of mutability in Python. So it's very important to understand what is mutable, what is immutable. And I will also explain why it is important to know the mutability. So the concept of mutability. Okay, so it will be our third lecture. So basically these are the first two lectures. What we are going to cover in first two lectures. So if you have no programming background, these things you should know. Okay, obviously then we will study control flows, functions, and namespaces. So, and obviously indexing and slicing. How can I forget indexing and slicing? Yeah. So, yeah. So these are the basic data types. Uh, these are the basic data types: integers, floating point numbers, and string and Boolean. So what is integer? Integer is simply a whole number. So 0, 1, 2, 3 is an integer in the language of Python. So 0, yeah, 1, 2, 3, these are integers. So why do we need to know about these basic data types? So we need to know because we can perform different type of operations depending upon the type of data. So we can perform different type of operations on string than we perform on integers and floating point numbers. So it's very important to know what is the basic data types. And these data collections, they also contains basic data type, though these collections can contain classes, classes function as an element. But most of the time that list, tuple, dictionary, set, these contains these basic data types. So integers are simply numbers, whole numbers, 1, 2, 3. Floating point numbers are like numbers with decimal. So like maybe 5.5 is a decimal number. So it's a floating point number, or maybe 0.50 is a decimal floating point numbers. Okay, yeah, and string, anything contained in single quote or double quote is a string. So like if I write this Imran in single quote, it's a string. Okay, it is a string. Even if I write a number in a single quote, it is a string. It's not a number. Okay, so whenever you see anything surrounded by a single quote or double quote, it is a string. Yeah, and string, we can perform different type of operations on string. Very important for analyzing textual data, especially natural language processing, where we convert text into numbers. So yeah, and Boolean types, obviously Boolean type is simple, true, and false. So it's true and false. So yeah, these are the basic data types. And if you surround true with a single quote, it will become a string. It will not remain a Boolean data type. So string, whenever you surround anything by anything by single quote or double quote, it becomes a string. So under the hood, true is represented as 1, and false is represented as 0. So this is how we represents the Boolean data type in Python. So under the hood, true is 1 and false is 0. So yeah, okay. So how many of you have installed Jupyter Notebook or using Google Cloud? Yeah,
I have installed it.
okay, that's great. So yeah, I will encourage you to install Jupyter Notebook.
I'll also use Google Colab.
Yeah, Google Colab is even better. I mean, for data science, it's great if you are using Google Colab, because for importing packages, it's super great, especially when you are importing like PyTorch or TensorFlows and using, yeah. So, okay. Uh, so far we have four basic data types, okay? And these are integers. Integers are whole numbers. Floating point numbers are simple decimal point numbers. String, anything surrounded by a single quote or double quote is a string. Boolean type is true, false. Go ahead. Question, go ahead. Okay. So, and why do we need to know about the basic data types? Because we can perform different type of operations depending upon what type of data we have in our hand. So it's very important you keep an eye on data type. And if you are a beginner, if you're a beginner, you should yeah, like focus on this aspect a lot, because most of the mistakes the new students are making, they are making because they confuse different data types. So obviously on integers, you can perform an arithmetic operations, but on string, arithmetic operation does not make any sense. You cannot, though you can add two strings, but it does not give you a numerical answer. Yeah. So understanding data type is important for different type of operations you can perform. Okay. So this is how we create uh, so this is a name of the variable, okay? And this is a simple assignment operator. Is equal to is a assignment operator. So what this is doing, I will explain it in more detail when we will cover variable and assignment statement. But simply, it is this integer 50. This variable integer 1 is pointing to 50 in some memory location. So integer 1 is a reference to 50. So that's very important. So it's a integer 1 is a variable name. It's a reference to uh, 50. So why it is integer? This 50 is a whole number. So this is a integer. This the data type of 50 is integer. And similarly, there is another, we have created integer 2, which is 80, integer 25. So this int function. So function basically, if you see something like some name followed by parenthesis, that's a function or method. Okay, that's a function or method. So what's a how do you know whether it's a function or not? So some name, there will be some name, okay, some name, and it will be followed by parentheses. So this integer is a function, and you can convert uh, like uh, like you can convert a floating point number into integer, okay, using this function. And type is another function. It gives you the type, data type. So this, when you will apply type on integers, it will give you integer. So this type is very, very important. And if you're coming from our background, it is type of or class. That is what it is. Okay. So so you should be very generous using this type function. Use type function all the time. Okay. Question, go ahead. Okay. If there is no question, I will request you to mute your mics. That will be a great help. Otherwise, I mean, feel free to ask questions. So that's very important. You should feel comfortable asking questions. No question is right or wrong. We all learn by interacting with each other. So it should not be a problem. So I encourage students to ask questions. So yeah, that's very, very important. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello. Yeah.
Hello. Thank you so much. I just wanted to ask, do we have, is there an interface in Python like RStudio?
Sorry, what about RStudio? You want to use Python in RStudio?
No, I'm asking, do we have an interface in Python similar to RStudio?
Sorry, I'm not getting your question. I mean,
I'm asking, do we have an interface in Python similar to RStudio?
Python, I mean, so we have a type of function. Is your question related to this function type of, or it's related to?
No, I mean, do we have an environment like in Python, like in RStudio,
So
the working
environment.
environment?
So in the concept of environment varies from one language to another language. Environment, here we call it a namespace. You don't see the variables being created as you see in R Studio. Okay, so in environment you can see when you are creating this assignment statement, you see the variable being created in your environment. But here you don't see. So there is a magic command like who that gives you what is in your namespace or environment. We call it a namespace in Python. Python community call it a namespace. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. So yeah. So let me run the cells. So here you can run this cell by control enter, and now yeah, again I will run this control enter, and this so uh, so it gives you integer. So if I like give you something like this, if I give 50.98, what do you think? What should I get an answer? What should be the answer?
51.
One?
It does not round. It rounds down. I think it does not round up. So let's see this function. Obviously, it will give I think 50, not 51. Let's see. I'm not sure. Um, I think it's round down. Uh, yeah, it's round down. Okay. So 52.01 will be 52, and even 52.99 will be 52. So it can convert, this int can convert float point number into float point number into integer. Okay, and this type will give you the type. So that's very important function. This type is a generic function. It works with all data types. So this is a type of type int. Okay, so yeah. Then we have floating point number. Again, we are creating so uh, remember that single equals to sign is an assignment operator. Single equals to sign. Okay, so this is an assignment operator. So this is how you create a variable. Okay, so this is the name of this variable is floating underscore point. Okay, and why it's a of type floating point? Because it's decimal. It has decimal 1.0, and type will give you floating point. So let me run this. You will see, and type, I mean, we can use type. So it gives you float. So this is again um, like this is number. You can also write it in scientific notation. So this is yeah, this is a scientific notation of this number. I mean, this is something very basic. You might have studied it in your high school. So type, again, type will give you floating point number, and this is the maximum number you can create in Python, 1.79 exponential 308. So hopefully you understand these exponential means, like so how many zeros we have on the right side of decimal. So 308 zeros. So this is the largest positive floating point number that you can save in Python. Okay, and yeah. So if you save, yeah. So this will give you an infinity. So this is infinity. Okay. Yeah. And again, type function will give us the type of the data type. So string again, string is important. So what's the difference between string and number? How can you differentiate whether this is a string or a number? Anyone?
By the inverted commas.
Yeah, by a single quote or double quote. That is how we will know whether it's a string or not. So even if a number is surrounded by a single quote, it no more remains a number. It becomes a string. So that's something very important. So um, here, so you can see that Python is of type string, and the first programming language is a variable. So it's a reference that refers to the memory. So yeah, the concept of variable is important, and the variable is a reference to some memory location. Okay, so here, if I run this, I will run this, then I can see what is stored in this reference. It's Python. Obviously, type will be str. So if the type of the object is str, it's string. If the type of the object is float, it's a floating point number. Okay, so you must you should be checking type very often. Okay, and then you have here uh, you created a string with a single quote, and here you are creating a string with a double quote. Both are string. Okay, so you can create a string with a single quote, or you can create a string with a double quote. So yeah, here you can see str. Okay, so what about this? Is it a string or a number?
It's a string.
It's a string because of the double quote.
Yeah, but because of the double quote, so it's no more a number. It's a
So
string.
is a string equivalent to a character in R?
Yeah, it's a character. It's a character in R.
Oh,
So our community call it character. Yeah, I mean, the basic data types are the same. Boolean is called logical in R. String is called character, and we have numeric data in R. So I can make comparisons with R, but obviously those people who have not studied R or not interested in R, maybe they would not like it, but obviously data, why Python is like in R, you can store only one type of data in character vector. So container data types, there are container data types in R, but you can store, for most of the container data types, except list, you can store only one type of data. But in case of Python, list, tuple, set, dictionary, they are very, very flexible. You can store any type of data. You can, all the elements of these data collections in Python could be of one data type, or they could be of uh, another data type. Okay, so, but it's not the case in R. Okay, so R is different. So if you have a non-character data type in a character vector, it will be automatically coerced to character. So that if there are elements in R character vector which are non-character, they will automatically be coerced to character. So yeah, obviously, yeah. So yeah. Yeah, so here we have like this 5 is a string, and obviously you can check the type is yeah. Okay, why I'm getting this error? Anyone? You will get this error a lot. So I'm getting this error because I have not run this cell. I have not defined, I have not created this assignment operator. So that's why I'm getting this error. So what I will do, I will, before I run type on it, I should run this. And if I run this, then I run this, it will give you str, and str is string. So again, So what is it? Is it a string or a float?
A float.
Yeah,
It is a
float.
float.
Yeah, it's a float. And obviously type will give float. So you can also give print. So so what is this number? So this is again a string, 5 space 4 space 3. So yeah, so this is the opening double quote. This is the closing double quote. So this is a string. So okay, so yeah, this is the opening, and yeah, it's a string. And um, yeah, okay. Here you can, okay, let me, oh, sorry. Okay. 40, I don't know why I wrote, okay. So this is again word sum. I'm a sentence is a string. It could be a double quote. So if you literally want to include double quote in a sentence, you have to create a string with a single quote. Okay, so here you want to um, uh, literally include the double quote. So it's not a good idea to so yeah, you should create a string with a single quote. And if you want to include a single quote in a string, you should create a string with a double quote. Okay, so yeah. And if you want to create multi-line string, so you cannot create multi-line string until you use 3 pairs of single quote or double quote. So this is multi-line. So this is one line. This is second line. So you have to use the triple quote. Okay, triple single quote or triple double quote. Otherwise, you cannot include. Yeah. So slowly we will understand these things. Don't worry if these things feel difficult to you. Yeah, important thing is to ask questions. If you are not understanding, ask questions. Don't worry about it. Yeah, obviously there will be some students who know more. There are some students who know less. But the goal is to learn. And this true false is Boolean type. So this true is what is the representation of true and false under the hood? What numbers? Can you tell me? Can anyone tell me?
1 and 0.
Yeah, 1 and 0.
So true represents 1, and
False represents 0.
yeah, and false represents 0. So we will see that like we will see non-Boolean context. So that I will also explain, like all non-negative numbers in Boolean context. Yeah, but yeah, we have to, okay. So what about this? Is it a string or
String.
string? It's a string. It's not a Boolean. So that's very important. So if I run a type command on it, we won't get a bool. So so let me okay. So why I'm getting this error?
Because he didn't run a round bool or string.
Yeah, so I did not run here. I'm asking it to give me the type of this variable, but I did not create this assignment. So it does not know what is this bool or string. So you must have created this. You must have created this assignment statement. Yeah. Okay. So here, if I run this. Okay, str. Okay, and we have this bool. So this is the bool. So this is of class bool. So we only have two values. Boolean is simple in the sense that it has only two values, true and false. Yeah. Now we will proceed to operators. Operators, basically, we have different type of operators in Python. Operators are like special symbols. So arithmetic operators, we know that plus, minus, division, we have operators, and even some keywords are also operators. So let me, okay. So this 5 plus 2. So this is operator, and these two are 5 and 2 are operands. These are operands. Okay. The 2 is operand, 5 is operand, and plus is operator. So plus, so operators are not limited to symbols. So we can also have keywords like and. We also have keywords like and, or, and, or, not. These are also operators. Okay. So yeah, this is the operator and operands. So yeah. So they are used to manipulate and perform computations on operands. Okay. So Python like use and, or, not, and it increase the readability of the code. So Python is like, it seems like you are reading natural language, like you are reading an English. So when you are reading Python code, so that's why they also use these keywords which are from English language. So otherwise, I mean, in R, maybe you use this and, you use this vertical bar. Not is like sometimes this exclamation point. Not, this is what they mean in R. Okay, but obviously Python connects with a ordinary, like Python promotes readability of the code. It's very easy to read the code. Even if you have no understanding of Python's code, you can still read it, because we have operators like in, not in. These have symbols in R. Okay, these have symbols in R. Can anyone tell me, like, if you want to check the membership of a value in a data collection, what is its symbol in R? So how do you know that an element is a member of a group? What's its symbol in R?
So it's a filter symbol where you are checking whether your data frame, which is on the left side, contains the value in the right of IN.
Yeah, so in R it is this, I think, percentage in percentage. If I'm yeah, percentage in percentage. So now, but in Python it's very simple. It's in. Okay, it's in, not in. So yeah, Python promotes the readability of the code. Again, what are operators? Operators basically are special symbols or keywords that perform various operations. So this plus performs addition. We have minus that performs subtraction. And yeah, so this is like anyone, even with no programming background, can understand that we are trying to add 5 plus 2. So this is Python promotes readability, and I mean, this is the same even in R. Okay, expressions. Expression, on the other hand, are combination of values, variables, and operators. So let me give you an example of an expression. Always return a value. Okay, expression. So this 5 plus 2 was an expression. Okay, because it returns a value 7. And so let me give you example of a let me give you an example of a expression. Maybe so okay, where is it? So maybe this x plus 55, where x is equal to 25. Okay, so this x is a variable, this is a operator, and 55 is a value. So but obviously this will return a value. this will return a value. So expression returns some sort of a value, and expressions are important in this sense. Okay, so let me like give you a basic idea about arithmetic operators. So arithmetic operators are basically so addition is simply plus, subtraction is negative. So this subtraction is negative. And multiplication is static, so simple static. So if you want to multiply two numbers in Python, you will use 5 static 3, it will give you 15. And division, very, very important. So everybody should read this line. So when you are dividing, so like 4 divided by 2, what should we get? We will get an integer or float?
Integer.
Integer. Integer. Okay. Okay. So we will get an integer. Okay. We will get an integer or float?
A float?
Float. Because
Float.
float. So when you are using like this slash, single slash, okay, even your numbers are perfectly divisible, it won't give you an integer. It will always give you a float. So that thing you should remember. It's very, very important. Like, yeah, it could be a source of serious mistakes. So then we have a float division. Float division divides the first operand by the second and rounds down, not rounds up. So let me give you an example. 11. So 11, 3. So what should we get? First question, whether should we get integer or float?
The digit.
Sorry?
Integer.
Integer.
Yeah,
And
it's,
integer.
it's supposed to be float, but if it is integers, we don't know the reason. Maybe you tell us.
So we are using double slash, so it will give you an integer, and whether that integer will be 3 or 4, that's the question.
3.
3, because it rounds down. It rounds down. Okay, so that's very important. So it will give us 3. Excellent. So modulo, this operator, which is looks like a percentage. So this gives you the remainder of the division. So if you have like, so what do you think? What should I get? 11 modulo 3. What should I get?
2.
2. Okay, so 11, yeah, 2. So this is 3. 3 are 9. Okay, so this is remainder. This is quotient. Okay, so that's very important. Okay, yeah. So if you want to so if you want to know the even number, odd number, so this is important. This symbol is important. Okay, exponentiation, if you want to like 2 raised to power 3, you will write in Python in this way: 2 statics 3. So this is an operator, exponentiation operator. This is an operand. This is a first operand. This is a second operand. Okay. So yeah, and here this was a operator. This is a operand. Okay. So this and here operator was a symbol. Operator was a symbol, but arithmetic operators are symbol. But in case of logical, operators are keywords. And even in identity operator is not, operators are keywords. Assignment operators, again, we have symbols. Okay, membership operator, again, we have keywords like in and not in. Identity operator is and not is not. I will explain you. You don't have to worry about it. We will like cover these things in super detail. The key thing is that you should feel comfortable and ask questions. If you are not understanding, I mean, you should ask questions. Otherwise, there is no point in attending this lecture, because there are better YouTube videos. You can go to those YouTube videos. Yeah, so the real utility of this course is to ask questions, and don't worry about right and wrong questions. So no question is wrong. So I strongly encourage you to ask questions. So that's otherwise, I mean, I if you're shy of asking question, it becomes difficult to understand things. Yeah. Okay, what happened? So let me go. Okay, so again, what I showed you. So this is a uh, division, floor division, and it,
That means for the exponential, it should be raised the second operand to the power of the first.
sorry, say it again, please. Sorry.
For the exponential, I think the English there should be, it will rise the second operand to the power of the first.
Yeah, you're right. So yeah, the second operand is basically a power to the first operand. So you are right. Yeah. So I mean, yeah. So let me give you an example quickly. So 2 and 3 2. So this is equal to 2 raised to power 3 in mathematical sense, and this is 3 raised to power 2. So second operand is a power. Okay, power to the first operand. Excellent. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, so here you can see, let me do this. Okay, raise. Okay, so let me, okay. So here, what happened? Okay, this. So if this will give me integer. Okay, this will give me integer. You can check with type. This will give me integer if you want to check the type. And if I use the single, what do you think? What should it give?
Float.
Float. Yeah, it will give float. And though here you are 5 divided by 2 will give you float.
2.5 or float, yeah.
Yeah, float. So here it's number, age, and you can add these ages again. So this returns you a float. 4 divided by 2 will give you a float, because this is a single division, like single slash. Okay, and it returns you float. It's very, very important. If you are performing some operation, you should keep an eye what you will get back, what type of data you are getting back. If you are a beginner, you should make it your habit. Otherwise, things will become super difficult pretty quickly. So here you can see it is float again. So what will this give?
You remember 1.
1. So
One, yeah.
So it will give you 16. So that's that. Okay, comparison operator. So comparison operator is what when you are comparing two like when you're comparing two numbers or two strings or even two booleans, but not so common to compare booleans. So you will get the result boolean, true or false. So if I say 5 double equals to 2. So this double equals to is different from the previous single equals to. So when you are creating a variable, you always use a single equals to sign, and single equals to sign is an assignment operator. in R we use single equals to as well as some sort of this symbol. Okay, assignment. So if I'm creating a variable name A5, so yeah. So so what will this give? This will give you a true or false answer in sense of true or false. So
False.
false. Yeah. Okay. Let me. Some students are. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we have different type of comparison operators. So double equals to, check if the values of two operands are equal. Not equals to is simply not equals to this exclamation mark, and single equals to. Greater than is greater than this, and less than is can someone is annotating? I mean, is it possible if you don't annotate on my screen? Yeah, it will be a great, because it confuses me. Like if you want to ask a question and then you want to annotate, it's okay. Yeah. So greater than or equals to, this is like greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, okay. Again, so here you can see that so like this 5 greater than 2. So this is a operator, and these are this 5 is operand, this 2 is operand. So this operator is operating on these two operands. And why it's a comparison operator? Because it will give you a result in case in the form of true or false, in the form of true or false. Okay, so that's very important. So what will be returned from comparison operator? Anyone? True or false. So it will give you an answer in the form of true or false. So that's what will be returned. So here we can see, let me go through quickly. Okay. So obviously this will give you val. And okay, that's very important. When you are comparing two floating point number, and this appears to be very close. So this number is 4.3 and y is equal to 4.3. But when you get, when you compare 4.3 with the 4.3, you don't get, what do you expect to get when I run this cell?
It's a
True.
false.
True.
It's a false.
True.
So
It's a false.
you
You
expect
have true.
you expect to get true, but you won't get true. The reason is that
Yeah.
the floating point numbers are not stored precisely. Okay, so our expectation is to get true because we are.
Yeah, you will get false because you have to define two variables. For example, x equals to 2.1 and y equals to 2.2. Then we can say d equals to x plus y.
Yeah. So
Y
yeah.
in that
So,
is true.
yeah. So here we are, why we are getting, because when you are comparing two floating point numbers, which you think that they are very close to each other, they are same, but they are not the same because they are not stored precisely. So basically, essentially, this statement means you are comparing 4.3 with 4.3. But you don't get true, you get false, because floating point numbers are not stored precisely. So you get unexpected results, and there is a way to do it. So this is a solution. Maybe you can even yeah. So how much tolerance you are willing to how much tolerance you are willing to afford. So if the difference between these two number is less than 0.0001, it should give you true. Okay, so that's something. Yeah. So let me. Yeah. So again, you can also compare the strings. So comparison operators is not limited to comparing the numbers. So what do you think? So it starts comparing from left to right. So obviously you will get false. So here here. Okay, so what do you think what I will get if I use if I compare this and y quickly?
Yeah, it is false.
False. Yeah, so it is false because
It's, it's
it's false because so first it will compare this character P with this P, it's okay. Then this Y with this Y, it's okay. This T with this T, this H with this H, but obviously the last character is different. So the last character is different. So yeah, that's yeah. So yeah. If you are not asking question, maybe it's good idea to mute your mics. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So okay. So that's why we are getting false. So again here. Okay. So here you can see that I'm comparing obviously not equals to is true and true doubles equals to false is false because they are not equal. And so alien function will count the number of characters. So alien is for iterable. So I will explain you what do I mean by iterable. List, tuple, are iterable. So iterable is something that you can loop over it. So we will study it later, but yeah. So yeah. So though, so what it does, so this gives you 1, 2, 3, 4, and this give you 4 as well. So it counts the number of characters in a string. So this give you 4 alien function. Okay. And obviously this, what type of data it will return if I run this cell?
Boring.
This 5 less than 2 string bool
Bool.
bool. Yeah. So
Bull. We give bull.
yeah, so it's very important you when you are running a function, you should expect what you will get. And 6 greater than or equal to 6. So that's true because or 6 greater than or. So or means that if one of them is true, it will give you true. So yeah. Okay. Logical operators. So logical operators are we can combine 2 or more conditions by and or for not we don't need to combine 2 conditions, but for and or we need to combine 2 logical conditions or 2 Boolean expressions and they return you Boolean. So let me explain you maybe. So here 5 greater than 2 and 6 greater than 3. So you are using and is a operator, and you can think of these as operands. Okay. And this gives you true. This gives you true. Okay. So this and when you're using and or, so the operands you can think of these should give you true or false. Otherwise, you cannot use and. I mean, and has to be on the left or right. They must be.
But I think the last line should be true then.
Sorry.
The last one should be true then.
Yeah, 5 greater than 2 is true.
No,
Because
I'm talking the one I underline it.
this line.
I think here.
The logical operator. What
Yeah.
the one
Yeah.
False and false is equal to false, yes.
It's equal to false.
So yeah, 5 greater than 2. So I'm giving you this example. So your question is related to this example. Yeah. So yeah, true.
Actually,
Yeah, go ahead.
he's saying that, actually he's saying that the 4 lines you have written like true and true is equal to true. So the last line says false and false equal to false. So he's saying that it should be true. Is it right?
No. So
No.
and operator only gives true when both are true. Okay, so this is, except this is true. So both true and true is true. Or if one of them is false, you will get a fault. At least one of them. I mean, false and false, false, false and true, false, true and false, false. So both true, you will get true. And that's an and condition. Okay, and yeah. So yeah,
I think the confusion is right. Like a lot of folks are taking from the algebraic expression of negative times negative, also positive, positive, negative. I think that is the confusion, but this is different here, you know.
sorry, I could not understand your question. Go ahead, please.
No, it's not a
Please, can I-
question. It's not
Yeah,
a question.
I-
I was just saying the confusion is coming from the algebraic expression that we used to. Negative times negative equals to positive. Positive times negative, negative. You know, negative, negative, positive. You know, I think that is the confusion. But in this case, it's different. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
So, and when you are combining two Boolean conditions and each Boolean condition returns you true, you will get true. Okay. So if one of the Boolean condition is false, or both are false, then you will get a false. So yeah. So yeah. So yeah. Yeah. Okay. So now, I mean, yeah, here like X is, so what will be, what we will get if we run this? If X is 10, what do you think, what should we get? True or false?
True.
So what is this? This part is, so this is false. 10 is less than 20. It's true. 10 is less than 20.
True.
True. And what about this?
It's true.
True.
It is true as well.
Yeah, true and as well. So true and true is true. Okay, true and true
True.
is true. Okay.
So
Yeah.
so because of the and, right? So both conditions has to hold, right? True.
Yeah, when both the conditions on the left and right, when we, okay, if you are coming from an R background, if and let you combines two logical conditions, two or more logical conditions, even you can combine more logical conditions, you will get only true when both these logical conditions give you individual true. That's the only scenario in which it will give you true. Otherwise, it will give you false. Yeah. Yeah, like you can give, like you can understand an example. So you can drive in the US if you are older than 18 and if you have a car license. Okay, so if both conditions will be true, you are allowed to drive. Otherwise, you are not allowed to drive. So you can think of this should give you, okay, so older than, okay, if I convert it to true. So this should give you true. Yeah. If one of the condition is false, obviously you cannot drive. I mean, if you have car, if it does not have a car license, even if you are older than 18, you cannot drive. If you don't meet both conditions, you cannot drive. If yeah, so this example, yeah. Okay. So okay. So what happened? Let me. Okay. So yeah, you are not required to understand this if condition, but now we will study control flow in detail. But how to you can know like whether the number is positive or negative number. So you need to combine multiple conditions. Number should be greater than 0. So and number positive and even. So this is like if you want to know that the number is positive and even, so you both should be true. So what do you think? What you will get when if I run this cell
The
quickly?
second option.
The second condition.
Yeah.
So 5 is greater than 0. Yeah, 5 is greater than 0. So this is true. 5 is
True.
greater than 0, true. But this is false. This is false.
False, yeah.
Yeah. So remainder is not equal to 0. Remainder is equal to 1 here. So this is false. So true and false is false. So you will go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I have a question that how remainder like number %2 equal to 0. Like what does it mean?
Okay.
Can you explain it?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you for asking it. Okay. So first of all, 5. Let's break down this. What will this give you?
It will give you 1.
It is 1.
1. So then you are comparing 1
equal to 0. Got it.
So
Got it.
remainder, yeah. So if we have 4, so 4 is completely divisible by 2. So the remainder here we will get 0, and you are comparing 0 with 0. So this is like yeah. So this is like it is an even number. If if we have 4 instead of 5 here, yeah, yeah. Feel free to ask questions. I mean, that's very important. Yeah. So
please may I ask this question? The percent symbol, does it represent a division sign?
yeah, percentage, like percentage represents remainder. So like what it represents. So like here, 5. So 2. So 2, 4. So this percentage gives you this 1. So this is percentage gives you 1, and double slash gives you this quotient. Double slash give you this quotient. Okay, double slash. So if I was using like 5 double slash 2, it is giving you this quotient. If I'm using 5 2, it is giving you remainder. This, okay, this is remainder, this is quotient. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's great. Let me, okay, I am going slower than what was my plan. So that's not a good thing, actually. Okay, so or, so see, you can combine 2 Boolean condition with or, and it will return you either true or false. So if one of the condition, if one of the Boolean expression is true, you will get true. So here, if both are true, you will get true. If one of them is true, you will get true. If one of them is true, you will get true. And if both are false, that's the only way to get false if you are using or as a Boolean operator. Okay. So yeah. Yeah. So here, what do you think what you will get? It's okay. I mean, not everybody is understanding what is this, what is this?
You will get the first condition, because like the science score is equal to 50, and the condition with the if condition is saying science is greater than or equal to 50, and which of course that holds that condition true.
Yes, he is right.
Yes,
One
it's
of the
true.
condition satisfies.
Yeah, one of the conditions satisfies. Okay, yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. So this is
That block will be executive.
yeah, this is 25 greater than, this is false, but this is true. Science score. Yeah, this is true. So one of the condition is true, you will get the code in the yeah, here. Yeah, this is what you will get. Okay, not very important. So not, again, it should be followed by some true or false. Then you use not, and it makes sense. Okay, so here not is equal to not true will give you false. Yeah, not true will give you false. Yeah, this will give you false. Not true will give you false. So not only needs, you can think of it as a one type of operator. Okay, so yeah, so true and false also. Go ahead, question, go ahead.
Can we learn together?
Sorry, say it again.
I'm doing.
Okay, so yeah, maybe we will cover this and then we will like start tomorrow. So Boolean, so like true, false, like we also have non-Boolean values also have Boolean context. So that's very important. So all non-zero integers, non-zero values include positive and negative numbers. They are considered true. Okay, they are considered true. All non-zero values. So this 5 is non-zero. This -5 is non-zero. So if you put bool 5, so what is the Boolean context of this 5? Positive 5. So this will give you true. Okay, this will give you bool -5 will give you true. So though these so this like this is a Boolean context of a non-Boolean value. So basically these like +5, -5, positive, negative numbers are uh, non-Boolean values, but they have a Boolean context. And you should also know you can also make mistakes if you don't know the Boolean context. So empty string, non-empty string is true. Non-empty string is this, like if I put I in it, this is non-empty string. So what is its value in a Boolean context? Anyone?
It says true.
It's true, yeah. And like if like in case of a empty string, so what will be this is an empty string. So what will be its Boolean context?
False.
False. Yeah, very important. False. So, I mean, you can make mistakes. Okay. Composite data structures, we have not studied. List, tuple, set, dictionary, non-empty, built-in composite data structure is true. Okay. So I am stopping here and maybe